Welcome back to the Elise Surkov podcast, where we help women in perimenopause and menopause thrive unapologetically from the inside out. All right, today I'm talking about the hot topic of how do you stop snacking in perimenopause. So maybe you are someone like me that just really loves food, and maybe you are just like loving snacks. And I think the most asked question I get from a client when they start the program and even in my DMs is like, what's a good snack? What's a good snack? And I'm like, I don't even know how to like answer that anymore because I just want to like remove the word snack from our vocabulary and say like, what is a good food to eat, or like what would be something that could satiate me? So let's get back into this. Like, one of the easiest ways to kickstart weight loss is to stop snacking. And I say this a lot in my marketing on the gram, which is like snacking as a verb. All right. So you can have a snack. I'm not against snacks, but snacking is, it seems to be like this is where we are chasing our tail. All right. So maybe you are someone that wakes up in the morning and says, all right, today's the day. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to get back on track. I'm going to feel good about myself. And I'm going to start with eggs, egg whites, and spinach and cheese. And you're like, yes, crushed breakfast. Check. And then you're like, fuck, it's lunchtime. All right, I can keep going. I'm going to do like a salmon or like chicken salad. And I'm going to do like balsamic vinegar and a little bit of olive oil for dressing. Maybe I'll add some nuts or like an avocado and keep it super healthy. And you crush lunch and you're like, check. And then 2:30, 3 o'clock hits and you're like, fuck, I'm hungry. What's a good snack, Elise? Elise says to eat protein. I'm going to eat a protein bar. I'm going to eat yogurt. Or you're like, I'm just going to have some veggies. I'm just going to have an apple. I'm just going to have a little thing, a little thing, a little thing, a little thing. All right, cool. And an hour later, you're fucking hungry again. So you're like, all right, it's 4 o'clock and dinner's not till like 6. So like, I'm hungry, I need to eat something. I need to have a snack. What's a good snack? I'm going to have some jerky. I'm going to have some tuna fish. Whatever it is you're having, you're snacking. You get home and you're like, all right, now I got to make dinner. Fuck, I'm so hungry. And you're like, well, you know what? Didn't really have a ton of carbs today. So I'm just going to have some chips. I'm just going to have a little bit of chips while I make, or like whatever it is that you love. Have some crackers, whatever it is. And then you go ahead and you make dinner and you're like, nope, I'm going to have like chicken and broccoli and like steamed rice or whatever that is. But like, I'm not going to have the rice because I already had so much chips. And then then after dinner, you're like, you know what? I'm just so fucking hungry. I'm just going to have a few more crackers, chips, cookies, ice cream, whatever it is. And then you're going to be like, fuck, I fucked this up. You know what? It's because that snack wasn't a good snack. I'm going to try again tomorrow. And you fuck up the day. And then the next day you try again. Hands up if this sounds familiar, and don't feel called out. I know I've done it myself. So what the actual fuck is happening is that you're snacking because you're hungry, my girl, and you're hungry because you're dieting down your meals. All right. Your body is so smart that it's like, hey, we need to have more food for all the shit that you do every day. So if you're not going to give us enough food, it's like your body talking to you, yo, if you're not going to give us enough food in here, then we're just going to like make you hungry throughout the day so that you make it up without you realizing. By the way, these are the same women that come to me and they're like, I'm barely eating and I'm gaining weight. I don't understand. I'm under eating. That's my problem. Yeah, I'm under eating. Like I only have like spinach and egg whites for breakfast. It's like 200 calories. And then I have like a 300-calorie lunch. Like I'm barely eating. So there's something wrong with me. And I'm like, okay, you're lying to yourself, first of all. So let me call you out right there. And you're going to probably hate me for saying this, but that's okay. I'm here to keep it real with you. And hopefully this does help you. So what you really need to do is something super uncomfortable, which is reverse engineer how you're fueling your body. Because let's say at the end of that day, you just ate like almost 3,000 calories. And you're like, no, that's impossible, Elise. I'm like, no. You fucking ate almost 3,000 calories. That's why you're gaining weight. You're eating like 600, 700, maybe max 1,100 calories in quote unquote meals. So you're like showing me your diary of what you're eating. And you're like, look, I'm only eating 1,100 calories. Like there's something wrong with me. I am a special snowflake. And I'm like, okay, if I followed you around with a camera all day, is that all I'm going to see? Or better yet, if I took you to a deserted island, my girl, and only gave you 1,100 calories, would you lose weight? The answer is yes. So what am I missing? What am I not seeing? That's the question I love to ask women. What am I missing? What am I not seeing? And then it's like, well, I did have a few carrots. That's not a big deal. And then I had some crackers with it, and I had a couple chips and cookies, but whatever. Like, it wasn't a lot, but I also had like a little bit of, you see how easy it accumulates. And so all the snacks are now well over 1,000 calories. Your snacking alone could be close to 2,000 calories. I kid you not. It is so easy to do. I once did this in the car outside of Costco, parked. I ate, I think, 900 calories out of popcorners just sitting in my car, about to turn it on to leave and go home and unpack the groceries that I had just bought. So when I say it's easy to do, a lot of women think that, like, 1,200 calories is like a full day of eating, whereas like 1,200 calories is like 2 meals max, right? So we have a little bit of distortion when it comes to portion sizes and what we're actually consuming. I'm 5'1", and my weight fluctuates like 124 to 126 pounds, and I eat about 23 to 2,400 calories, sometimes a little bit more, to maintain my weight. So a lot of women are like, there's no way I could eat that much. And they're 40 pounds overweight. And I'm like, the fuck you don't. You eat it every day. You just don't realize how. And it's through all these extra snackings. So what you need to do, which is going to be really super uncomfortable, is you're going to have to flip how you look at your meals. You need to have bigger meals. Stop dieting down your meals. I know you want to diet, you want to be smaller. So you naturally think about, my meals need to be smaller, when you're not wrong. Your meals, everything needs to technically be smaller. But if you cut your meals too small and you make them too quote unquote diety, then your body is going to find ways to get those calories in through snacks. And so when women say to me, what's a good snack? I like to say, well, tell me what your meals are, because it's going to depend, right? So if your meals are like really low in calories and in macros, then I'm going to say a good snack would be a sandwich, would be like a wrap, would be like basically like a fourth meal is what I would like. In fact, I do like that snack to kind of be a mini meal. For me, I have my protein oatmeal, and I will link that below if you're interested in grabbing that. Now, this is Canadian only, so if you are Canadian, you can go ahead and grab that and receive 10% off. But I have half a pack every day as a snack, because it's got protein, it's got carbs, and then I'll add in a little peanut butter. So it's got that good fat in it. And to me, that is the one snack that I have. And it is super easy. And I'm super regimented during my workday, especially because it's quick. I can eat it and then off I go. And I know I've gotten a lot of clients in on this as well. And they make them into pancakes and they have them for breakfast. Like, it is so easy. I travel with it. But it's basically like, some people will look at me. I will bring it to the hockey rink too. And my friends are like, you're disgusting. I'm like, I know. I'm the only one there that's bringing like a traveler of oatmeal while everyone else is like bringing like whiskey, scotch, and wine. But point being is that, like, I want to make sure that I'm well satiated before my next meal. So you're going to have to reverse engineer a little bit of how you want your day to go. Obviously, at the end of the day, you don't want to be full and like completely stuffed. So like, what is dinner going to look like? What is then lunch going to look like? And then what is breakfast going to look like? Because meals are just not mutually exclusive. How you eat breakfast is going to determine how you eat lunch. So if you're under eating breakfast and then you're under eating lunch, like, you're just not going to win. Like, you've just lost the day. And then you're going to reach out to me and be like, I don't understand why I can't lose weight, Elise, and I'm barely eating. And I'm like, okay, I've seen this 100% of the time. Right. So bottom line here is, start to increase your meals, make them bigger. And start thinking about, like, how can I build my plate? So start with protein. What is my protein source? If you're having spinach and egg whites, God bless you. I fucking hate egg whites. But if you're that person, great. So you're like, all right, my protein is egg whites. Ask yourself, is this enough? Is this like 30 to 40 grams worth? And it might be. If you add some eggs in there and egg whites, cool. Then ask yourself, is this protein source a fat heavy source? So like egg whites, nope, you're going to want to add some fat. If it's like steak or beef or whatever, you're going to be like, yep, I've got a good amount of fat here. I don't need to add more. So your spinach and your egg whites is like, hey, let's add in some fat. Let's add in some peanut butter. Let's add in some avocado. Let's add in some cheese. Like, what is it that you like? And then from there, you're going to want to also make sure that you include a carbohydrate. Don't be scared of them, but you're going to have to add them in. So you add them in, and now, oh my gosh, what do you know? It's like lunchtime and you're like ready to go again. And so that salad that has that like salmon or the lean chicken, again, salmon, fattier source, don't add more fat. Chicken, leaner source. If it's chicken breast, add in the fat. Then what is the carbs? Maybe you're adding some potatoes to the salad. Maybe you're having a bagel on the side like me, or you're having some toast, or you're having, I don't know, whatever, like some crackers, enough of a hit of carbohydrates that is going to keep you satiated for dinner. Now, most of us go a long time between lunch and dinner. So it's like, hey, we're having lunch around between maybe 12 to 1, you grab some lunch. And then dinner might be like 6. Now, for me, I mean, if you have kids that are in like competitive sports, it's a fuckery. Like we have hockey anywhere from on a weekday, anywhere from like, well, it used to be 5. Thank God we don't do that anymore. But like 6, even if at 6 o'clock, I got to get dinner on the table by 5. So I'm making dinner at like 4:15. And so it's like, hey, I got to eat a little bit earlier. So I might cut out that snack because I'm going to eat a little bit earlier, but then I might have a snack a little bit later on. And actually, one thing that I do is I just will pack up dinner. Like I'll feed whoever is the athlete of the day so that they have a good amount of fuel in them before they go off to hockey practice or game. But for me, I will just bring that with me. So I'm kind of eating at that normal time, but it can be tricky. If you're like coming home and running out the door, prepare ahead of time, make dinner the day before, the night before, have something ready to go, or like buy your dinner, right? Like not fast food it, but like have something ready to go. Because what I see women do is they are just like gone to shit with their meals. They're just like, well, I skipped breakfast because I was in a rush. And then lunch, I was in a meeting. So I just had something really quick. And then like dinner, I had to take the kids. So like I had a bar and then I came home and like ate everything and the kitchen sink, right? So you're going to have to be a little bit more responsible for yourself. You are a grown ass woman and you can do this. But by making your meals bigger, you're going to see that that little snacking, it's going to be habitual. It might be emotional, but it's certainly not physiological, meaning you don't need it to be satisfied. All right. Point of the game, point of the story, put a little bow around this, make your meals bigger, snack less, one snack between lunch and dinner, if and when you need it. Don't skip meals. Please don't skip meals. And let me know how this lands for you. I'll put all the links below if you need some guidance or you want to reach out to me. Leave me a review below. But most importantly, just tell me, like, are you listening to this podcast? Do you like it? Do you have questions? What questions can I help you or answer? Send me a message on the gram. Let me know. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you click that subscribe button. Until the next time.